All right, welcome guys to another High Country podcast. And tonight I have a special guest with me today, Riley DeMattos. How's it, Riley?
How's it?
So yeah, we have a trad shoot on Saturday. Today's what's today? Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, today's Thursday. So we're gonna be going to a trad shoot on Saturday. This is the Hawaii Island Archery Club trad shoot. I think it's the
Third or fourth
third or fourth annual
annual.
one. We're on the Big Island. And so hopefully I can get this thing put up, released in this day or tomorrow, so that people who are listening to this, and if you're on the Big Island and you want to participate in a shoot, come check it out. It's open for everyone, as far as I read it, right?
And I think last year we had a pretty good turnout of trad guys too.
There's trad, but there's also
Compound.
compound everybody, right?
Yeah, all ages.
Yeah, yeah.
Pee-wee.
All ages, and that's the beauty of archery. Everyone can do it, and I feel that the archery club definitely promotes everybody participating. It's
Yeah.
it's a trad shoot, but then everyone can participate too.
definitely.
There's divisions for everyone,
Yep,
right?
yep.
It's gonna be at Kaohe. Is this still called a GMA? Game management
I
area?
believe so. Yeah, I think so.
Do
Yeah.
we even have game management areas
Yep.
in Hawaii? I
Right
don't
by the
know.
pine trees. If nobody
Yeah.
ever has been up there, it's just keep driving up the main road on the left side. You'll see
Yeah.
everybody.
Off Old Saddle Road.
Yep.
So yeah, so we'll be there. Stiff competition.
Well, if this rain keeps up,
Yeah, well, we were actually gonna be trying to practice so that we don't deposit all our carbon back into the earth when we get up there.
try to.
But yeah, Hilo's been raining for like the
Oh.
last since
Since
January.
February.
Since we went deer
Easily,
hunting. I
yeah.
think January.
Yeah.
So I don't know. As crazy as it sounds, I'm ready for some climate change already. Because
Well, we had one day of sun, and that was yesterday.
yeah.
Other than that, it's ugh.
Yeah, so we're not getting a whole lot of practice, and that's sandbagging 101 from me. You just tell everyone you don't practice, and then you try to go over there and shoot. And
Ryan always shoots good. He always shows
no,
up.
if anything, I'm good at. I'm awesome at sandbagging.
Yeah, I agree
Pretty good?
100% with that. Yeah. Yeah. Sandbagging and smoke screen.
Smoke screen. Yeah, so for the folks like that's not from Hawaii, maybe they don't understand what smoke screening is, but in local speak, Hawaii speak, when you smoke screen somebody, it's like you're redirecting their attention somewhere else. So it's just as the name implies, you pop smoke and you run away kind of thing, right? You let everyone look at the smoke and you're gone. So say for instance, if you're hunting with a bunch of buddies and or you kind of know where the big ones are, and you got a bunch of friends and they want to go somewhere else, like they want to go somewhere else, you tell them, hey, where you guys want to go? You guys go, do whatever you want to do. And then you kind of like pop smoke and you kind of go to your spot and
Yeah.
get what you're looking
Yo.
for.
Sometimes it has to be done, even with your buddies.
But I'm gonna be honest, like I don't do that. Like it just happens that way.
We do it the totally opposite. When we shoot something, we don't tell any of our friends. We bust a smoke screen at that point. We don't bust a smoke screen at spots or hunting areas.
Sure. But yeah, I'm just lucky. Like luck is a strategy. And on this podcast, speaking of luck, we're going to talk about some traditional bow hunting and stick bow shooting,
Mhm.
because it's something that I feel Riley is a good guest for that. He's one of the better, wow, one of the best,
luckier.
one of the. I'm gonna toot your own horn for you. Dude.
My
You're
heart
one
is
of
broken.
one of the best trad shooters that I know around here. I mean, there's a couple others too,
Yeah.
but I think one of the greatest accomplishments here, at least in Hawaii, is that we're pretty much self-taught.
Yeah, we
Right?
don't
Have you had any
resources.
formal training? Right?
No,
Yeah, we
negative,
don't have
yeah.
formal training out here, so we just kind of go online and look at whatever and
Mhm.
go from there. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. But I want to cover some current events and stuff, and I want to thank everyone that's been giving a rating and review. I see them on the iTunes. I haven't been able to look at the other ones, but that's much appreciated.
Yep.
I think somebody was Pinnacles. Must have been Riley.
Yeah, I figured to, help a brother out and
Okay. So one of the questions I got, 'cause I also post this on YouTube as well. My YouTube channel is maybe a little more popular at the moment. And I think one of the things on there was, how come I have an Ibex in my logo of High Country? We don't have Ibex in Hawaii. Well, I don't know. Some people like to.
It's on his mind.
Some people like to embellish the idea that we have ibex in Hawaii, but they're actually
Oh,
feral goats.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But here's the truth. Yeah, we don't have ibex in Hawaii. Not by my definition.
Not the real ibex.
Yeah, not the real ibex. But in 2017 January, I drew one of those coveted New Mexico, Florida Mountains ibex tag, and it was just a really tough hunt. I'm gonna do a podcast later on it with some guys that I know have been on it, and there's hunts I think that you want to do, and then there's hunts that you feel like you've led your whole life to. And that is like,
yeah.
to me, that defines the kind of hunting that I like, and I can't think of drawing any other tag, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I hunted elk.
It's one of those hunts that always leaves you with more, wanting more.
Yeah.
No matter what, like
Yeah.
fail, succeed, you just want more.
So we'll leave that. I'll leave that for another podcast. It'll be kind of cool. And yeah, it was just an epic hunt. Another one was, when am I gonna make any merchandise, like T-shirts or stickers or something like that? That might be something I look into the future. Right now, I'm just trying to get started. I'm still learning how to use all this equipment. But if I do that, I think I'll go the route of, hey, all those proceeds and stuff we'll use to build the podcast, and then also create an avenue for hunter advocacy. I talked about it in Tony's podcast. We just maybe I didn't, but if I didn't, then here it is. You know, we're governed by Oahu. Oahu has most of our government, and we have very little access to it, and it's cost prohibitive to go there. So I think, you know, if I could get a little help, and I can help others as well, financially, to go there, and we can be at the legislature, we can meet our representatives more, we can have a little more visibility politically, then I definitely want to use funds to do that kind of thing. That was my main intent of even starting this. If it was just about hunting for me, I wouldn't bother doing this. Like, why? Maybe just to help others, but I wouldn't be a great enough
You
push.
wouldn't have that drive.
Yeah, the drive for me right now is that, well, the drive for me is, like, I would say I lost about 80% of the sheep hunting that I like here.
Yeah.
And I really do think the last 20 might disappear in a decade or less, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
For
Sure. Like we'll live long enough to not see sheep hunting.
I think, yeah, if something doesn't change,
Yeah.
we're gonna end up there. And we're talking public hunting. There's a lot of private sheep hunts.
Yeah.
But I think over time, as we lose the public one, I think the private guys may get some pressure to eradicate stuff as well. Just
I'm sure with the amount of numbers they have.
Numbers, and maybe just landowners, land rich, cash poor.
Yeah.
They start taking money for environmental stuff instead, and hey, bye sheep.
Yep.
Planting trees is more profitable, or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
It is.
just by federal grants or whatever.
Yeah.
Hunting can be profitable. It's just not everybody sees it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that's the merchandise, and maybe the what I would do if I were to go that route. The other one was, I got some questions on hunting in Hawaii. It's just a personal thing. Guys were asking, is there guiding on public land? Because I know there are people out there that want to hunt only public. They have this inclination that public is the kind of hunt they want to do, and we're very similar to that.
Yeah.
I can be sensitive to that notion, but I'll just tell you something crazy. Hawaii, we have a requirement for all guides to have a license.
Yep.
It's a $25 a year license, I believe.
And you can't guide on
But
public, right?
I'm told by the authorities that you cannot take compensation on state land for guiding.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the actual language.
HRS or whatever.
The actual HRS or the statute or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but this is what I'm told. Mind you, though, while we're hunting in there, I see bird tours, I see forest tours, I see any kind of eco tours. They all got permits, and they're making big money, right? This is huge. This is 15-passenger vans. These guys are paying hundreds of dollars a day. Every day, and they're making money on that. But for some reason, hunting is absent from this, and even though you got to pull a permit and pay for it. I don't know what I need a permit for if that's the case.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's Hawaii. Letting people that don't live here know. Hey, we get the West Coast rejects. I feel like if the West if the West isn't left enough in the country for you, they come to Hawaii.
Yep.
Where we get downright
crazy.
We just get stupid out here. So, hey, it is what it is. And another one about hunting here, just how I hunt with other people. So I don't guide. I hunt with friends that I make along the way. And one of just I'm just gonna share it because I feel like it's something that's important. I've hunted with a lot of folks. Some of it were TV, things like that, and I just didn't get the right. Maybe it's just a personal ethic thing for me. The TV folks came and they didn't have any consideration for the meat. You know,
Oh.
they came to kill, and
Wow,
they felt
it's about producing the TV show, right?
yeah sometimes, and I felt like maybe in the mainland they have meat donation systems and whatever it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
We don't have that in Hawaii,
Yeah.
so it may or may not be ridiculous. I don't know, depending on where you lie. But just for me, growing up in Hawaii, we were taught you don't shoot it unless you're gonna eat it. I mean, is that
Correct. Yep.
something
Yep.
you grew up on, right? Yeah.
And you
So
don't only take the best parts, you take everything.
yeah, you take as much as you can because it's a resource and it matters, you know. So for me, when I hunt with guys else that come over, that is a requirement of mine. They have to have the full intention
That's a
of
very
taking
good
of taking the meat, and
Yep.
that's the same for me when I go elsewhere. Even if I go to Wyoming and I shoot a big elk or something one day, I'm gonna want to bring home those hundreds of pounds of meat.
Even
I'm
if
gonna,
you have to pay for it, it's part of the experience.
it's part of the experience. I'm gonna find a way, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe there are places I can't because of import laws or whatever. Like I know guys that go to New Zealand can't, or
Oh,
I think even if I go to Alberta with Todd, I may not be able to bring things back. They just have all this thing about deer diseases and stuff.
oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So, or
Well,
maybe
what can you do at that point?
yeah, or
though?
maybe even the importation of wildlife,
Mm.
just the Fish and Wildlife Service or whatever customs rules there are. So I mean, there are those things, but here in Hawaii, when you come from somewhere else, another state, and you're coming here, I think you can take all the meat, and that's just something an ethic I live by.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then yeah, at any time we're just going over some current event stuff just to beef up the podcast here. But hey, if you guys want, just you can fast forward to the meat, to the stick bow stuff. But another big current event, and have you seen, dude? It was Sunday, last week Sunday, and I saw this post by the NRA about like, oh, Yeti's dropping us from their cooler deals or from whatever, from a sponsorship or some kind of discount, industry discount or whatever it is. Have you seen that?
I've seen a post by both, and this is only recently. I haven't seen it as recent as you, but I
Yeah.
did see the NRA one. I kind of read through it.
You see the Yeti one?
And I seen the Yeti one responding to that, and then I've
Yeah.
seen a whole bunch of other people responding and posting, but I didn't dig deep. I kind of just
You pass, like you
I-
just don't. It doesn't bother you or
it,
whatever.
yeah it didn't. So I was
Yeah.
like,
So, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the reaction. I think, you know, what's that saying? Be quick to listen, slow to judge, all this other stuff. I don't know
Mm.
how it goes, but there's a saying with that, and I think, you know, as with my podcast or any content I put out, I think with social media and things like that, I think a lot of people some groups they tend to choose like very inflammatory ways of getting their
Mm.
point across, like
Yeah.
attention grabbing.
yeah,
I mean, I just felt like it's kind of weird. It was a Sunday. I think it was released on a Sunday.
jeez.
I saw it, and I was like, "Whoa! Like can you guys talk about it or whatever? Or is it maybe it's just a business thing? I mean, who the hell cares? I
Yeah,
mean, if it's
yeah.
a business thing, whatever, you know."
Yeah.
I just felt like it was very inflammatory,
Mm.
and I'm a lifetime NRA member actually.
Same.
I didn't pay for it. My dad, I think, paid for it. So, whatever. I was too broke when we were doing this thing. But hey, I totally support it. I mean, it's I totally support that organization. It's politics. I mean, they may not have the same view on everything that I feel, but then I also have to. I think I have to understand that politics isn't pretty, right? Like it's
Yeah,
getting
it isn't.
it's getting ugly. Like
Yeah, it's
like the one man, you could get 1,000 individuals to show up at our legislature, and each of those 1,000 mean not like I've seen it myself. They might mean nothing to our representatives. What means something is this group, Sierra Club, Nature Conservancy. What does this
the
group
big
say?
names.
Yeah, all these
The
big names.
individuals.
Yeah, what do
It
these
is exactly that, an individual.
totally? What do these NGOs or these groups say?
Yeah.
And when you go to like Hawaii legislature, I haven't been to other states, but ours, at the front of every committee meeting, they put how many are in support, what groups, and how many groups are in
Huh.
oppose. They literally that's the front of their of their dockets
Not
before they that
not the
committee that they get and
individual.
they read. They don't even care about the individuals.
Isn't that crazy?
Like they might have how many support or whatever, but no big deal. All it
If
has
that's in the
is
background.
yeah, the very top of it are
Yeah.
these groups.
That's
So like in as much as I'm trying to rally for hunter advocacy in Hawaii, we have a missing piece. We don't have a group. So I'm trying. I have the Hawaii Sportsmen's Alliance on Facebook, all these other kinds of things, and I don't know. It's a lot of work to create a group. So it is just this social media
Yeah.
nebulous thing. But yeah,
not only to create the group, but you got to be a big player in the game also.
a
I
big
mean,
player. Yeah,
if a group at the legislature is still just could be counted as an individual and
yeah,
pushed to the side anyway,
yeah. So I mean, just getting back on that social media thing, I just feel like people need to think a little bit, be mindful of each other, and the infighting, just in industry or whatever it
Doesn't
is,
help.
it's wild. And what makes me really sad is when I see my own fellow hunters quick to judge. Like they'll just boom, oh, this guy said this and that's the gospel. Well, environmentalists say a lot of stuff about hunters too, and people take that as a gospel.
Yeah.
So if we act just like them, are we any better?
Nope.
So part of this podcast is I want people to be mindful, be slow to judge, quick to research things. Yeah, and just do your homework,
Doesn't hurt.
don't just jump in. Both companies, I listen to the Hunting Collective podcast with Ben O'Brien. He's a guy from Yeti. Probably has nothing to do with Hawaii, whatever, but yeah, I like his outlook. I think it's a great. They employ people in the U.S. I think it's a great thing. It's business, and
Yep.
if I can be honest, if I had the money, I would probably buy a Yeti cooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't have anything to put in it because I hardly kill anything. But Riley would. Riley would put a lot of stuff in a Yeti
I
cooler.
don't
Probably.
know.
Riley kills a lot, no?
Depends on your definition
Even
of a
with
lot.
even with the stick bow, he's successful.
Once in a while. Once in a while.
But yeah, both organizations are good, and I just think we gotta stick together, and petty little things like that. I mean, that's not. There's a lot of bigger things to worry about than who's giving who deals or business
Yeah.
decisions and whatever. So hey, that's just my 2 cents on that, and I like the reaction Riley had. He wasn't just judging or freaking out and just posting memes or whatever. I mean, God,
Yeah.
how childish are people? It
Yeah.
drives me
High
insane.
school all over again.
Yeah, like trying to make a difference, and it's like trying to corral. Man, kindergartners listen better
Yeah.
to like even they think better sometimes.
Yeah.
People are they're quick to grab things.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, enough of that BSing. Let's get to some stickbow and trad hunting. This was something I feel Riley's a good resource, and I've done for a little while, since about 2004 or 5. I can't remember. Tell me about your
Oh.
stickbow, Riley. Why do you do it? I mean, you started rifle and you went to a compound and then to
picked up-
the recurve. So
Yup.
why?
Many reasons. It was something that I feel like I accomplished rifle. I feel like I accomplished a lot with the compound, and I wanted to feel that same feeling I felt when I first hunted with my bow, like that first year I hunted with my bow. Even though I wasn't successful, like that was probably my best year I've ever had, just learning to hunt with the bow.
Why
and
was it better? Why was it better?
Just learning everything, just everything being brand new and
So were you saying
failing.
you were getting bored, like with the wheels?
I wouldn't
and
say
the-
bored. Just I don't know, just that feeling. It was just like the first time ever hunting. I just wanted that excitement, and the only way I could get it was if I picked up a stick bow. So picked it up, and now every time I go hunting, it's
So what's so exciting? What's so exciting though, particularly?
stalking
I mean,
animals.
there's a challenge. That's how I got into it, was a challenge.
Yeah.
But there's an excitement, I guess, for you when you're closer.
Yeah,
what is
I
that?
just like stalking animals, taking pictures. I take a lot of pictures.
That's right.
But yeah, just stalking animals. I like getting in their bedroom and being in their house and them not knowing. Just I don't know, being a ninja, I guess.
So how long have you been doing the stick bow
Oh, I think in 2009 I bought a brand new Matthews, and then 2010 or 11 is when I pretty much fully made the conversion over.
thing? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
7 years, 8 years maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, just on my side of the story, I started just for the challenge. I'll be honest, I was a lot younger. I think I was younger than you when I started the stick bow. Maybe I'm not
So
sure,
I was what,
but
20, 21 when I.
oh, maybe I was the same then. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was just shy of out of college because I remember having the recurve when I was at school in the
Mm.
mainland. But yeah, it was just a bigger challenge. Like the compound was getting kind of easy. We had a lot of animals around at the time, and
Yeah.
David Weaver in Kona, he makes Axis Hawaii bows. I remember somehow I got in contact with him, or he got in contact with me, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta try one of these things. You're I was kind of a young hunter, and I was pretty successful, and he said, give this a shot." So he let me borrow one of his bows, and I went out there, Pohakaloa. This whole place is like fenced now, dude. There's no animals in there anymore. And that's another story.
It's another podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole other podcast. Like I did a small project in there helping hunters get the last few and at least making use of the resource versus it just being laid to waste. But quite honestly, it's good and sad. It's bittersweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, went in there and a lot of animals, and I was shooting if people look around my social media, I'm a left-handed shooter, but I was actually shooting right-handed prior to 2010,
You made the
2011, I was
switch.
shooting. Yeah, prior to that, I was right-handed, and then after that, I was left-handed.
What
First-
made you switch? I know there's a story
That's a
behind.
whole, dude, we could go like hours on that thing, dude. Like, shooting left, I'm left eye dominant. So, and hopefully the beginners can figure out what that is, because we have all types of listeners from beginners to advanced, and we're gonna cover all kinds of stuff like in between. So, and this is gonna be multi-part because we're not gonna get through it all. I kind of put a call out for questions, and I got more than I thought I could. I was like, "Whoa, hey,
an
don't
hour.
yeah, hey, don't stop, guys." It gives me a script to go on,
Yeah.
instead of just us talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
But we'll get to it. Yeah. So my first animal was a young sheep in Area 22. Pakalo, what was yours? With a stick
Mine
bow.
was stick bow Puanaulu. Was a
Honolulu?
goat.
A
Yeah.
goat.
Yeah.
Was it super close or?
It was close. I remember specifically that day I ran out of arrows. I
You
hit
shooting
it.
everything?
No. I hit it somewhat decent. Enough that it would eventually die, but it wouldn't have died that day.
Oh.
And so I'd have to. I think it was less than 20 yards. Shot it, hit it far back. It ran 300 yards, sped it down. I got close, shot, missed. So that's 2 arrows. Either the head was bent or it broke. I was shooting really cheap Beemans, so you hit any lava rock and it breaks. And then I remember looking down at my quiver, and I had a 4-arrow quiver, and I was like, dang, I have 2 more. And as soon as I said that, like, arrows weren't even close to the goat. Missed 2 more times, and then I was like, well, what am I gonna do? And I just looked at my dad, and I was like, I'm just gonna. I think at that time I was still in pretty good shape, like from running and whatever. So I was like, I'm just gonna run it down.
So you're not in good shape now, then?
I mean,
You're in good shape, dude.
all right. I mean, I used to run a lot more back then.
Yeah, I call you the tapeworm.
Because I can eat whatever and I don't
Man,
get
this
fat.
guy, yeah, he doesn't eat whatever the hell you want. If I ate like him, I'd be 210 in no time. I'd be
But
massive.
yeah, ended up running it down. And there's somebody on a hill watching me, because I remember giving the
yeah?
bow to my dad, and I was like, dang, these guys are gonna get a show right here. So yeah, if they're listening, like, let me know. Like, I'd like to find out who you were. But yeah, chased it down for maybe 100 yards on pretty lava rocks.
You just
and
grabbed it.
yeah, I just grabbed it.
Because you had no arrows.
I had no
left.
arrows.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you gonna do?
it's either let him suffer throughout the night and maybe die 2 or 3 days, or chase him down and like. So yeah, like,
man.
I think I have that picture still yet, and there's only 1 arrow that I have that wasn't broken, and it's in the quiver. But it was good times. That was my first ever animal. And after that, totally hooked. Like,
Oh, really?
definitely not picking up the compound
Yeah.
unless I had to.
So mine was just almost the same. Like, I didn't run out of arrows, but
Yeah.
David gave me these arrows, and they were these collapsible aluminum arrows, dude.
How does that work?
So he takes an aluminum arrow, he cuts them in half, and then
Insert.
so he puts a sleeve, like a smaller aluminum arrow in it, and glues it, and then he glues them. Then you have like this collapsible arrow you can glue together.
Mm,
Now
that make
everyone knows we have you gotta deal with spine
makes
and
it
all this
it's gonna
crazy
make it
thing.
stiff.
Well, not everyone, but anyone that's tuned the compound knows
Yeah.
that that's super critical. somehow he figured it out. So I screw on a 125 Thunderhead. I remember I took Dad's old broadheads,
Nice.
screw them on, and I went hunting with them, and somehow they hit. They kind of hit where I was aiming straight somewhere. So I
Yeah.
went out there. I missed a goat on the fire break in area 20, and I
Mm.
was all sick. I was like, this is ridiculous, because I had him at like 5 yards, and then I missed him at like 10, and I was like, this is dumb. And then while I was there, I looked across in area 22, and I saw this always happens, and I think you're gonna relate to me when you got that struggle stick or firewood or whatever you want to call it. When you got that thing in your hand, you just see animals.
Magic happens.
Magic happens, right? Like you just see animals that you don't get to see when you got a rifle or a compound. It just,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels that way. Like you get these older, the big rams come out when you got a stick bow.
Yeah,
The big billies
it's-
come out when you got a stick bow.
Yeah, it has some kind of magic. I don't know how to explain that, but
drives me insane.
yeah, it's.
But yeah, I ran over there because I saw all this sheep. There was a big one. I couldn't get close enough. It was definitely in compound range, but I just couldn't get close enough. And then I shot at a small ram. I remember I hit it mid-body. Not gonna lie, I aimed for the middle of the body because
Oh, yeah?
this is the first time I'm shooting at one. You
Don't
know,
pick a spot. Yeah.
because I just want to get one. So I did that, and he expired. He actually bed down, and I thought he was there. I was watching for about an hour, and he expired in that position.
Hmm.
Right at dark, I actually went over there to go check him out. I thought he was gonna run away. I was like, is he still alive or what? And
His head was down.
but his head was down, and he was lying down. He's such a small target. I didn't want to shoot again because I was
Correct, yeah.
such a crappy shot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
and
was
it
pretty
was
bad
down.
back then too.
This little round was the first. It was the first day I hunted with a stick bow.
Oh, first day.
First day ever, dude. I
Oh,
never took
man.
a stick bow in the field until that day.
I hunted quite a bit. I can't remember exactly how much,
Yeah,
but
there were more animals though. when I
yeah,
was hunting,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
But,
But I mean,
um,
goats though. I mean, it's a lot easier than sheep.
Yeah. So, yeah. So for let's get into starting then, because I know some people out there, they're already great hunters, or maybe some people just want to do the purest thing and shoot the wounding stick. They call me in Lanai. I've wounded a lot of animals.
That's a first. That's a first. I've heard that.
Yeah, uncle called me. He's like, "You bought the wounding stick?" I was like,
Ooh,
"Oh
that
man."
hurts.
And then I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I've wounded my share, and I've had to learn, and that's the struggle with it, man. But how do people, in your view, Riley? I think you started the correct way. I'm not even gonna tell. I'll tell people how I started. Don't do what I did, but how did you start, and what do you look for? Like, if someone's gonna pick a stick bow, what should they look for at first?
Well, first I would try to find somebody who has done it before and ask them. When I first
Yeah.
started, I definitely went to Ryan
Sure.
first and just got some basic info, and then next I just price range.
Price range. I would say draw weight is a big deal. I think a lot of guys, we get a little bit too macho, and you might shoot a 70-pound
Yeah.
70-pound draw compound bow,
Yeah.
and then you figure, oh well, I'll shoot maybe a 50-pound recurve. Well,
Mm,
let me tell you, like 50 pounds, trying to anchor and hold that back for a little while.
yeah, and
is-
that's what makes a lot of people snap shoot. I think
Yeah. So
they're forced to do it, and they
Yeah.
call themselves snap shooters. But
Snap
that's
shooters,
so
yeah.
different.
so what did you start with as far
I
as weight?
started at 45 pounds with a
45.
Samex Sage.
And then you were shooting a compound at what weight?
like 62 or 63.
Okay, yeah. So
Yep.
you dropped about 20 pounds and
Yeah.
shot there.
Yeah.
I was shooting 70 pounds at the time, and then I think the bow David gave me. Well, I gotta reel that even back further. The first bow I ever shot was my dad's Kodiak Mag recurve,
Nice.
but I was like intermediate school. I don't know what I
Oh.
was. Yeah, but I was such a short draw that I wasn't even pulling all that weight.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. But the one David gave me was I think it was 52 pounds or something like that, 50 pounds. And it was heavy for me. Like, I was shaking when I would draw
Yeah,
it back.
yeah.
and, I would say, if you're going to start, pick light. Like, I mean, look at your rules. If you want to hunt with it, obviously, you should probably shoot something to the minimum weight. But,
But at the same time, if you go with light, you can work on your form. You
Can
can
work
work
on
on
your form,
everything.
yeah.
You can get everything down, and then when you bump up in weight, you're not learning everything again. You know, you kind of have a foundation to build off
Totally.
of.
Totally, yeah.
So-
I would agree with that. Like, I would say go light. If you're shooting 70 pounds and the law where you hunt lets you shoot 40 or 45 or whatever, shoot that.
Yeah.
and really get that form down. I didn't have that opportunity. Like I just grabbed this bow, I started flinging arrows, and did whatever it took to hit the target. So, and I'm gonna say a disclaimer. Maybe Riley can agree with me here. This disclaimer is, I'm not an expert at this stuff. Like,
yeah, same here.
everybody, I don't even consider myself close. Like, we're
Nope.
learning all the time. So we're just gonna share experiences that we've had. Most of my experiences are gonna be what not to do. Maybe Riley's experience might be what works, but mine is like, I don't know. I didn't have resources, so when I started, it was just like, hey, I just do whatever, see what works, and I just went with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I shot too heavy. I was kind of snap shooting, whatever it is. I couldn't tune an arrow.
You didn't. I mean, there wasn't at that time. I don't think there was anything on YouTube of tuning a recurve.
Yeah, there wasn't even YouTube. I think maybe there was, but no one was really.
But yeah, it wasn't as popular as it is now. Like now, you can search for whatever you want.
Yeah,
for
so
anything.
totally. Yeah, that's number one here. Like we can tell you some stuff here, but yeah, go on the internet. Google's an awesome tool.
Yep.
YouTube, whatever, find it, and then just like I said, do your homework. I always say this. Try to make sure it's a credible source, because there's a lot of people out there giving information, and I don't know, and whatever.
And experiment.
People trying to sell you stuff, and I don't know. Industry's wild, but yeah, we're just gonna give you our experience here. So start out light, I would say. For me, I was left eye dominant, but I shot right-handed, so that's a whole nother ball of wax. There are some guys out there that can shoot like that. I think people say Fred Bear was cross dominant.
He shot left-handed, but he was
right eye or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast today of somebody like that. You know that guy Kavanaugh, the guy in Canada, Jeff Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
I think I heard on a podcast that he shoots right-handed, but he's left eye dominant.
Does he close one eye when he shoots?
No, the guy's full instinctive. Full instinctive.
Dang.
Yeah, have you ever seen him shoot? Like he just shoots like swinging stuff.
Yeah. He has a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah,
in
he's
the barn.
a YouTube
He shoots
channel.
in the barn or something.
Yeah, so some guys can
that guy
do
is
it.
pretty mean.
Some guys can do that. I found out I was not one of those people. I'm one of those people that can't do a lot of things. I gotta work hard at it. But yeah, so I shot right-handed for the longest time. It's just because when I was a kid, there was no, I don't think there were left-hand bows for kids at the time. So I just shot right-handed, and I had you have sights and stuff, so it's not a big deal with the compound. But when I went to the stick bow, I found myself like I could shoot a couple shots at distance, okay, and then I would just start shooting to the left all the time.
Huh.
To the left. Was it left? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just start shooting to the left all the time. Just, the way you line up the arrow and kind of what you see. But I would start out good. Like I could shoot 2 or 3 shots really good, and then I start getting all fucked up after that.
Yeah.
So if you look at some of my, I did some stick bow hunting videos and stuff, and you look at all those videos and all my shots, they're like ultra close because I ultra suck.
You couldn't shoot far.
Yeah, you gotta play to your strengths. Like I knew I couldn't.
Gotta know where you can win.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't confidently shoot far, so that's it. I'm gonna get 5 yards and put the arrow in it myself if I have to. And that's what I filmed, and that's what it was. But I would say if you can and you're starting out new, I haven't. This is what I said. Some people can do the cross dominance, what I've seen, but I've never seen someone not work the other way, like shooting on the side of their eye.
I think it's hard to get efficient if you do the cross dominance thing. Like
it takes
there's
work
gonna
probably,
be a time where that other eye is gonna take over, and you're gonna wonder why it went.
Yeah, and there's a saying in like all shooting, everyone says this, like there's nothing 10,000 shots can't fix. So like there are probably easier and more recommended ways and more ways that the average person learns. But there are exceptions to that rule if you're willing to work hard sometimes.
Correct,
or some people just have a different level of talent.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like, I don't have the talent for instinctive shooting. I can't throw a rock. Like, I can't throw a baseball accurately. Those things I'm not very good at.
Yeah.
But I had to work at it.
But you can learn.
Yeah. But there are some people that are phenomenal at instinctive things. Which gets us into the, maybe we can do, I think we'll do a podcast on just, on purchasing a bow and all like the jargon that goes with that.
Yeah, keep it all together.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it all together. So this one, I just want to, I asked for a bunch of questions, and we got quite a few from some folks. So I want to get into them. And where are we? Actually, no. Before we get into that, let's talk about our setups. Actually, what are you shooting right now?
Uh, right now it's I'm shooting
You're
a
shooting good. That's what he is doing. We'll just call it good.
all right. It's a new bow. I've in the past I've had some pretty bad luck with bows breaking on me. I think I stick bow hunted for 8 years, and this is probably like my eighth or ninth bow.
Yeah.
But it's a Hoyt Satori with Black Max 2.0 limbs. I make my own strings, and I'm shooting gold tip Velocity 500s with 100 grain brass insert and a 200 grain head. Not by choice. It's just I had a ton of these arrows and they worked with my longbow that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just using it now, and I think I'm drawing. They're 55 shorts, but they're turned all the way out, so it's I don't know, 47, 46 maybe at my draw.
Pounds probably.
Yeah.
And how long of an arrow you shooting? You're gonna guess knock to
I'm
end of the
I'm gonna
insert.
guess maybe 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my setup I shoot it right now. I shoot a Bob Lee heavyweight. It's just called the heavyweight. It's not a heavyweight bow. It's
Yeah.
it's called the heavyweight model, and it's 54 pounds at 26-inch draw. I'm drawing it about 20, little over that. I'm drawing about 26 half.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's about 55 pounds at my draw. I'm shooting a Go Tip traditional shaft, the standard .246 ID, with I think it's about 28.5 inches long from the toe to the knock to the insert, and 400 spine, and I'm shooting a 100 grain insert, brass insert with a 150 grain point on the
250
front.
up
So
front.
it's 250 up front. You're shooting 300 up front.
Not by choice. I mean, when I have
Yeah.
when I run out of these arrows, which Ryan helped me yesterday with, he broke an arrow of mine.
Yeah, takes
wha-
skill to do
Yeah.
that.
I'll probably be shooting a 400 spine with 250 up front instead of 300.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, that's a little bit of our setup. And if you're keen on tuning and setting them up, you would have taken out some really key information from that. You would have taken out our draw length, our poundage, and our shafts, the stiffness of the shaft, and the point weight, which is the kind of the next one of the next questions I wanted to get to. A bunch of guys had questions in where was it? Folks are interested in shaft tuning and selecting the current the right shaft to shoot with. Now this is completely, I don't know. Do you use any resources online like a spine chart to
Nope.
pick your arrows?
But
Yeah.
I have ordered one of those bear shaft or arrow test kits.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
think Lancaster or Three Rivers sells them.
Three Rivers, yeah. Three Rivers,
yeah.
yeah.
And you can get like 600, 500, 400 spine.
Okay, yeah. So what I typically do is, people already have like spine selectors out, spine charts out there for compounds, and they usually go up to 150 grain point weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like, when you're picking a shaft, let's get to the basics, I guess. The basics is with the stick bow, you usually can't shoot as light an arrow as you can a compound, right? The compound, usually people go 5 grains per pound is okay. You might, depending on your bow maker, but chances are pretty good. You shoot 5 pounds, you
Void that warranty.
probably blow up your bow.
Yeah. I think what they recommend,
like
8.
8, 9.
8, yeah.
Yeah, 8, 9. I think for hunting, like 9 or 10 is probably a better place to be, depending
Yeah, I
what
think
you're
10
hunting.
is pretty good. You're not going to have a slow arrow, but you're going to have
Yeah.
an arrow with some punch.
So I mean, how heavy are the arrows you shooting right now?
I believe they're like 515, 520.
520 and
So,
47 pounds. So you're shooting
yeah.
over 10 grains
Yeah.
per pound.
Yeah.
I'm shooting 540 grain arrows, and I'm about 55 pounds, so about 10 grains.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, we just gotta disclose everyone. Yeah, we're both short draws, 26.5-inch draws. So this is like, if you're a short draw guy, this is
Listen up.
this is a
'cause-
podcast for you, because
yeah.
we're kind of a minority, I think,
Yeah.
and not a whole lot of information translates
Yeah.
over.
And everybody online is 27, 28, 29-inch
Yeah.
draws. So
how to pick the right shaft is one, you're gonna have to look at the weight. So I mean, there's ways, grains per inch, and you can kind of figure out, how heavy you want to be. But I would just say, I think you just want to pick something like 8.5, 9 grains per inch, maybe something like that. People make specific traditional shafts that are heavier
Yeah.
because they know this.
Yeah.
Like some manufacturers know that you need to get a little heavier arrow for your stick bow, so they make shafts that are heavier, grains per inch, and those are options too. Some people make spine charts for trads. I haven't really used those or looked at 'em.
I have never even looked at one.
Yeah, but if I had to go basic with someone, I would just say the idea. Man, that's really real back, I guess. If you pick the wrong shaft for your bow, if it's too stiff, it's gonna shoot to the outside of your bow. Pretty simple, right? So like if you're right-handed, that stiff shaft's gonna have a tendency to want to go to the left. If you're left-handed, that shaft is gonna have a tendency to want to go to the right as you shoot. And then if you're right-handed and stiff, that arrow is gonna have a tendency to want to veer off to the left. And then if you're too weak, it's the opposite way around. So this is the key point and difference. A lot of people are switching over from compound to stick bow. In the compound, you can actually kind of tune the compound to the arrow a little bit. You have adjustment. The stick bow, you don't have too much adjustment.
Yeah.
So you have to tune the arrow. Now, there's little things you can do with stick bow. We can get real advanced and talk about that too one day.
That's another,
Yeah, but for the most part, you're going to tune the arrow to the bow. And that it depends on your draw length and your weight. And then, like I said, your overall arrow weight that you're going to have to try to shoot for.
Yep.
And so it's going to be trial and error. You're going to have to get different shaft sizes and whatever. I would suggest, like Riley said, the Three Rivers has a test kit for different spines. We have a little bit of experience already, so I just order test shafts from like Lancaster. You can buy them by the shaft. So I buy like 3 or 4 of one spine, and I buy 3 or 4 of the other one.
Yeah.
Of a neck size up. But to pick where to start, I would say go on a spine chart. Look at the 150 grain arrows, and we're talking carbon arrows. The reason why I talk about carbon arrows is because they're tougher than aluminum. You just start shooting a lot, you're gonna bend your aluminum arrows. I would just steer beginners toward just shoot carbon.
I think it's cheaper.
And
carbon,
it's cheaper
right?
in some cases. Yeah, it'll just last longer for you.
Yeah.
But go to the 150 point. Look at that spine for kind of your draw length. I would say maybe get that shaft and the size under it. That's kind of where I start. I would get that shaft and the size under it, and I start a little long. Like, so the trick is, what we're gonna do is you adjust the stiffness of the arrow by how long the shaft is.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you can also adjust the stiffness by the point weight. So more point weight up front, it puts more inertia on the front of the arrow, so it's gonna want to bend the arrow when you fire the bow. So putting more point weight essentially weakens the spine of the shaft. And then putting more weight in the rear of the shaft essentially stiffens the spine of the shaft. So you're kind of slowing it down because you put weight on the back. So these are all things to take into consideration. So if you kind of look, I think on a spine chart for mine, like a 26 half draw, 150 grain point, and all that, it'll probably show a 400 spine. And I think, like, to me, they're always on the stiff side.
Correct.
Usually.
Yeah.
Like if
for
you
compound.
use a compound chart.
Compound usually stiff.
And even the recurve ones, though. I look at the recurve ones. They tell me 400 this length. If I were to shoot that length,
stiff.
It's gonna be stiff. And what I mean by stiff is you might get away with shooting a field point like that, but when you screw on a fixed blade broadhead to that kind of stiffer shaft and it wants to go one way, typically the arrow steers in the direction of the point of the broadhead. So it's gonna want to go that way. So you're gonna be like me when I started. I just thought, okay, be safe, buy stiff arrows, shoot them, and then here I am. I'm shooting good with the points. I screw on my broadhead, and my broadhead I was shooting right hand at the time. My broadhead was shooting freaking like a foot off to the left at 20 yards. So, dumb me, I don't know how to tune an arrow, dude. I used to just aim to the right.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And I'm sure a lot of guys do that though.
Yeah, it cost me some serious arrows, dude. Like serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really you got to read up on that, how to pick the spine. So what you're going to do is start a little long.
Yeah, I'd start off with a full length shaft.
And pick we mentioned some pretty heavy point weights, and that's kind of common for stick. But one, you want the weight of the arrow to go up, so that, because the carbons are pretty light.
Correct.
But then two, you're using it to break down the spine of the arrow too.
And for me anyway, the length of the shaft makes much more of a difference on spine than the head
Than the
weight
point
you're
weight.
using. So I can switch
Sure.
out point weight and I won't see too much difference when I'm tuning.
Yeah.
But if I cut off 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, there's a big difference in my spine.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty much the same here. I'd say me and him, since we're a little more advanced, we probably just start with the bare shaft. Probably you probably could do that.
Yeah, I start at bare shaft at about 10 to 15 yards.
Yeah.
full length.
So what I would advise a beginner to do, because this is how I started getting into this, was paper tune it. So start out with a little longer arrow. So say if your jaw was like 26.5 like mine, get that spine arrow, screw on 150 or 200 or whatever till you get that point, that arrow weight that you need to be safe with the bow, and shoot it through paper. Like set it at maybe 29-inch arrow or something like that, right?
Yeah,
Little
always
long.
better to go longer.
Be longer.
Yep.
Shoot it through the paper and see what tear you get. And there was a question. Someone had a question on how do you pick a knock point. How do you set your knock points? So we shoot 3 under. I'll just set your knock point higher than you need, because I've just found when you're trying to paper tune stuff, if you have a low knock point that's too low,
Opposite.
it gives you
reading.
weird readings.
Yeah.
Right? It's not consistent. So set it high. I set mine 5/8 above square of the shelf. I don't know what yours are, but
It's gonna sound bad, but I eyeball it.
Yeah,
I'll eyeball it. I was like, oh, okay, and I'll bump it up 1/8 of an inch.
Oh, okay.
And then I just tune for spine first, and then I adjust my knock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So me, like, I'll just put my knock set higher. I go 5/8 up because I know that's probably a little higher than I'm gonna end up. I usually end up about 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
So I go 5/8 high. The arrow is gonna come off the bow knock high. That's what I want to see at first, because I did that on purpose. And when I shoot through the paper, I'm gonna look for that left or right tear. And hopefully, if you're I'm just say from a right hand standpoint, if you're a right-handed shooter and you shoot through paper, hopefully you see a left tear in the paper, because your arrows are a little long.
Correct.
So hopefully they're a little soft. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut back maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch.
I would always go
Yeah.
1/4. Like the
Yeah.
biggest cut you should make is a 1/4, because
Yeah.
dang.
So you can do this, like, you probably have fletch in the back or something. So what you do is on your inserts in the front, you just take like electrical tape,
Yeah.
put them in and tape around it real good, and make sure you get a target that doesn't hold that point well.
Yeah.
So you can shoot into it, pull it out, and not pull your insert and point on it.
Correct,
So
yep.
you just pull out that insert, cut it down a 1/4 inch, shoot it again, and see what you get. And hopefully as you stiffen up, you'll see that left tear kind of work its way out. And then you can work on the up and down. So if you're having a high tear, which I usually set up for first, you can bring that knock point down, bringing the back of the arrow down, and, clearing up the high tear.
Yep.
If you're getting a low tear when you first start, I would say move that knock point up immediately. Just because
that's gonna throw.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust a low tear on a paper tune. Like, it doesn't tell me anything. Like, it's kind of weird. I would rather have it high first, and then I work from that.
Yeah.
Is that kind of
Yeah.
what you work
Yeah.
with? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you know that, I mean, you may screw it up. Like, you may cut too much off, and you're like, damn, too stiff, right? Well, what you could do is up the point weight. That's one. You could go up with 30 grains, 40 grains, or whatever. Or if you don't like that point weight that you got, and your arrow is too soft, you can lighten the point weight.
Correct. Yeah.
So you got to play with it. I mean, it's trial and error.
And yeah, for all of this, you have to have pretty decent form.
We got
And it
there,
has,
yeah.
and it has to be. You have to be able to repeat it, and you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
If not, you're gonna get. So when I tune, I'll take like 2 weeks to tune one arrow. I'll shoot one day, take a day break, shoot another day. Okay, I got my arrow. I think I got it right.
See what you got. Yeah.
And then wait a couple days, and I'll shoot again, just to reconfirm. Because even till this day, from day to day, I'll get different tears.
Okay.
So.
And then I think the next step after you kind of get a decent vibrator for what I've done is I just go straight to bare shaft tuning. So bare shaft is you have no fletch on the arrow, or if you want to get real nitpicky and you don't weight the back of the arrow like your fletch would be, you can put tape or something on there.
Cut the quills off.
Or just cut the part of the feather off and leave the quill at the bottom.
Yeah.
But I just go straight. It's fine. And you shoot the bare shaft into the target, and what you're gonna look for is you want to see that bare shaft hit the same place as the point as your fletch shaft first. If you all kind of know how to aim. If you don't know how to aim, you want to see that bare shaft just kind of fly straight and at least stick in the target straight to some degree. I mean, you might not be perfect as a beginner, but the bare shaft is like, to me, that's like the indicator of like of clean form and clean release,
Correct.
repeatable release.
So I do it a little different from you, Ryan.
Oh yeah, go.
Because I'll shoot my bare shaft, but I'll watch how it flies off of the bow.
Okay.
So as I'm concentrating on the
Yeah.
spot and I release, I can see which way the arrow is kicking.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't care where it hits.
Uh-huh.
I just want to see a knock behind my point instead of seeing a shaft and a knock
Yeah.
flying.
Roger that, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm saying like, yeah, for a beginner that might not be able to hit the dot.
Correct. And you don't want to be concentrating on looking at the arrow when you have to concentrate on form. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I've shot enough that I can kind of do both at the same time. Yeah.
Sure. And the whole point, the theory is, well, if you can get it to fly without feathers on it, when you put
It
feathers,
should
it's only
be,
going to
yeah.
be better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
yeah,
should probably be
yeah.
good. But I've seen a pretty experienced guys too. They can't shoot a bare shaft.
Oh, I've seen him almost slap the target at like
Yeah.
15 yards.
So yeah, one of our friends actually, like, he can't shoot a bare shaft. Like
I know who you're talking about.
I tried to tune it for him. It doesn't work. It just doesn't go. But dang,
His broadheads fly good.
put
Like,
the broadheads on, put the point on, guys on.
You
Like
can't-
it paper tunes good, and the broadheads hit with the points. So
can't argue with that if you're tuning for hunting.
yeah, I
right?
can't argue with that. But I will say though, like me and Riley, we typically when we practice, we carry a bare shaft around and we'll
Yeah.
just shoot it, and it kind of confirms, are we doing what we're supposed to be doing?
If you're having a bad day, you can shoot that bear shaft, and if that bear shaft flies off, you know you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong, or
Yep.
maybe something changed on the bow. You
Correct,
never
yep,
know.
yep.
So that's how we pick. We typically pick a shaft that was really quick and dirty. But and a lot of these questions, since we're getting a little longer on time here, we're just gonna give you the quick and dirty. We can go more in detail on a future
As
one.
you get more questions, maybe you can bunch them up into
Yeah,
one
and it's hard
podcast. Now it's kind of like a shotgun style.
Yeah, it's
you know.
hard. Yeah.
It's a lot of things to
yeah.
go over, man.
And you know, everyone's at a different
Level.
proficiency level, so it's hard to say. But hey, we'll get kind of to the next one. One of my friends on the Instagram, Hum Dowley. Now, if you just switch the H and the D, you can figure out what he did there.
That's pretty clever.
I see what you did
That's
there, buddy.
a good one.
But it says, how do you choose the right anchor point? He was told to use what's more comfortable, and well, he was kind of more talking for the compound, but hey, also for a trad. So let's just cover the trad side of it. Hey, you can explain your anchor point, Riley. Just go with that. What do you do?
So, that's a good question, because I used to shoot a lot of different anchor points.
That's right.
I used to shoot with an anchor. I guess my second knuckle and my thumb used to actually be in my ear, like in my ear. I kind of hear out my left ear.
So I mean, for the sake of time, I guess what are you running now, and then why?
I'm running pointed finger, corner of my mouth, feather on the left side of my nose. I have my left thumb hooking under and behind my jaw.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So 3.
And dude, we can do a whole podcast. I think I can do a whole podcast. I think you can too. My anchor point is I take my first knuckle on my thumb, so the knuckle that's closest to your palm. I take that knuckle, I put it right on my earlobe or right under it, kind of locks in there, and that's just that, and then the tip of my nose on the feather. And I specifically shoot a shield cut feather because it's the right height for me to touch my nose. If I shoot a parabolic, I can't touch it.
Same.
So yeah, you might kind of
Yep.
the same way. And then,
Yep.
man, some little stuff, like I've adjusted like where that feather is, and I can actually adjust where the arrow hits
Yep.
with how I feel.
With how it anchors on your nose.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's why I specifically said to the left of the point of my nose,
Yeah.
because if it's straight on, you can actually make the arrow move. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of nuts.
So you don't have sights on the stick bow. Well, if you're doing it this way, you don't have sights
Yeah,
on the stick
yeah.
bow, but your sight is your anchor point. So for me, the emphasis is high, and for you the same. Like
Yeah.
we anchor, we hold for a good time. We make sure we're in that anchor.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you can hold long because you got lightweight, but I hold maybe 4 seconds tops, no more than that. I
Mhm.
can't. And so yeah, that's the one along. And then for the compound, just real quick, because it was in the context of the compound. I used to shoot an index finger release with the compound
Mhm.
anchor point. I feel I've since changed to a handheld type. Before I even get there, if you want to get serious about your archery and stuff, and I'm not sponsored or even know anybody, but go to like John Dudley's knock on archery
Yeah.
stuff. by far and away, to me, has worked for me to up my archery game, period. Just do what he says and you're gonna be fine.
Yep.
But I would say though you have to make the commitment. As in anything, you have to be committed. You gotta stick to it and go with it. It's not gonna be like a fast one time thing. This is a course of a year, months, whatever. But anyway, for the compound anchor, I've gone to a handheld release, and my anchor is with the split of my, just like he teaches, with the split of my pointer and my middle finger on my jawline. And the what you want to do is not get a whole bunch of facial contact with the string, because your compound, you have let off and the string is loose, and you don't want that string pushing against the side of your faces. As you fire, it's going to send that arrow off in a different direction. So he teaches kind of there's this safe zone between your lip and your chin where that knock should be. With the stick bow though, I think you can put a lot of facial pressure and kind of get away with it. It'll fuck your face up though with the string.
Oh, it's gonna be sore. You see a lot of guys that tape on their nose.
Yeah, so he says it's tape on their nose. Me, I get a little bite on my cheek sometimes on my left side from the knock. But you can go a little harder. If you can get away with lighter facial contact, I'd say go that way though.
Mainly you're consistent. You can use any anchor you want.
Yeah, you can do it with your teeth if you want.
Just do it consistently and you'll see good results.
Yeah, so that's how we pick an anchor point. And I played with all kinds, like he said. Right, I used to do the corner of the mouth thing. I used to shoot split finger with my finger on my nose, my pointer finger on the side of my nose. I mean, all kinds of stuff. This is just what I ended up with, and we can go more like super detail on one of these things with our experience. Yeah, like we kind of sandbag that we don't know anything, but maybe we kind of do know a little bit. How do we? I got one from Robert Benny. He's from Texas, I believe, or lives in Texas. We went over shaft tuning and stuff like that, but how do you shoot the recurve? How do you aim and do you gap shoot? So do you gap shoot, Riley?
Yes and no. Right now, my boy is pretty slow because I'm shooting a pretty heavy arrow. It's not even a really tuned arrow, but so up until about 25 yards, I'll instinctively shoot. And then anything past that, I actually have my gaps figured out on my phone. Hunting wise, I'm always shooting 25 and less. I rarely shoot farther than 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was right-handed, I did both. I used to shoot instinctively and gap shoot. I tried both. Gap shooting is tough when you're left eye dominant and trying to shoot right-handed. I would tell you that now. I could get accurate with it if I knew what the range was.
Yeah, that's a caveat with that.
And we should say, like, a lot of the the highly competitive trad archers, they're mostly all gap shooters, right? I guess, it's a method of aiming, really.
Yep.
And it's most consistent, so that's why they're kicking butt.
Yeah.
But there's a few guys that are instinctive shooters, I feel. And when you say that word instinctive, some people get all like
butt hurt.
What is instinctive, what is not, and all this stuff. But whatever it is, I think I'm just saying it from the context of I'm not using the point, or I'm not using a reference of anything to try to aim the bow. I'm just kind of looking at what I want to hit, and I can feel the angle of my bow arm. And yeah, going with that. But when that was the reason why I had to switch to left hand. I found that I could only shoot so far right-handed, and as time went by, I would get worse and worse, like as I shot in the day. Yeah. So I'm only good for a few shots, and I was garbage after that. So, yeah, I picked up a bow left-handed real quick, and I just saw real quick. Even though I felt awkward, I was shooting just as good, if not better than right-handed. So that was a long process, starting all over again. Yeah. And I did it, and now, yeah, I can say where right-handed, my effective range bow hunting was like 15 yards. I didn't want to shoot further than that. Now, left-handed, I mean, I feel pretty. I haven't been practicing, and I might get my butt kicked on Saturday, but
sandbagging again.
But man, I feel pretty good at if I get my feet under me, a 30-yard shot isn't too hard, really. I mean, I feel pretty good about that. And then 20 is, that's given kind of stuff. Yeah. So, but that doesn't say I've missed crap at 5 yards with my compound, so I don't know, I mean.
Yep. Yeah. It happens. That's something.
It happens, yeah. So, but I aim instinctively, I guess you could call it instinctively, I do see this. I can see the shaft. If I start shooting a little further, like 40 yards with the stick bow, that point kind of gets up into my vision. So
you have to.
You have to see it.
You can't.
You can't. It's hard to look around it.
It's physically
it's blocking
impossible.
your target.
Like it's there.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I gap shoot, but in that sense, maybe. How I set up, and I guess this is pretty good for beginners too. I was kind of teaching some other guys this is I can kind of pre-aim the bow. Like I'll pick the bow up, I'll tension the string a little bit, and with my bow arm, I can kind of feel like what the elevation should be, and I'll ingrain that in my head. Like, oh, this is where it is, kind of. And when I draw that bow back and I hit anchor, that feel is kind of burned in there. So what I'm actually doing when I'm picking up the bow is I'm visualizing me shooting that 10 already. Like, it feels like this. I'm gonna draw back. It's gonna go right there. So that I just go back to that feel. So I draw it back. I go back to that feel. I start staring at the spot, and I guess staring at the spot kind of lines up me left and right somehow. And then hopefully, if I execute correctly, everything goes. I typically miss low. I don't know where you miss, Riley, if you miss all the time.
Some days are.
Yeah, he doesn't miss, so that's the thing.
No, some days are worse than others.
Yeah. See, I know where I typically miss because I do it a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Riley, he doesn't know where he misses because it doesn't happen enough times.
Just Ryan sandbagging again.
But so yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. I got another question from Russell Reinertson. I think he lives in Maui. Not sure. But where is it here? I think it's Maui. But anyway, it says, I'm interested in shaft tuning. We talked a little bit about that. Long-time compound shooter, new to the recurve. I'm figure shooting a 35-pound Hoyt Satori 26.5-inch draw. Shafts are 400 spine, GT traditional, 100 grain head, 50 grain point, weight, and 50 grain insert, I guess he meant, uncut. When shooting, 1/3 of my shots go right where I'm aiming, but the other 2/3 are hitting a few inches around 10 o'clock. Not sure if I need to have more point weight or switch to a 500 shaft, or could it be my release technique with fingers is not consistent enough? Your take, Riley.
Dang.
Fire away.
I think it could be multiple. Shooting a 400 spine with that low weight and a short draw. I'm guessing he's probably stiff.
Yeah.
Because it's 150 grains, you know.
Based on our numbers.
Just by going off of what we know. I think if you definitely went to a 500 spine arrow with either 200, or you could stay with the 150 up front, that might help, but it sounds like you are pretty consistently missing to a certain area.
Yeah.
It could be form.
What I'm going to say is this is kind of glaring to me, because if you're saying all the arrows are the same kind of arrows and some are going here and some are going elsewhere, I would say maybe label your arrows. Yeah. And then kind of see, is it the same ones? Like, are all the same ones going here, and then all that same one going here?
That's a good one.
So there's difference in shaft variations.
Oh, yep.
I mean,
Knocks.
You
can
could have
throw something off at 30 yards.
Totally. Like, typically the knocks are a little longer, some of these, and they bend a little bit, and you can't see it. And you shoot them, and I mean, you just get an arrow that wiggles all the time. You don't know why.
Yeah, I had an arrow wiggle halfway down range.
Yeah, so totally, like, you could spin the knock, check the knock, change the knock. But what's concerning to me is that they're not all hitting in the same spot. That's one. You're not getting a consistent hit wherever that is. Might not be where you want to hit, but they're not all going the same place. Yeah. So definitely make sure that it's not the arrow or something like that. And it could be release technique, not consistent, whatever it is. Yeah. And I guess we can talk just a little bit about that, like our release technique. How to release the string. Like, this is like, we had Jeff kind of shooting a stick ball, and you can kind of see it. I can see it in his mind. Or like he's drawing it because it's so hard to draw and he's got his fingers tight. Well, when you're drawing the bow and you got your fingers tight, how the heck are you supposed to keep tense and hold that string back, aim it at the same time, and then let it go? So I don't know.
One fluid motion.
In one fluid motion, yeah. I feel that's hard. I don't know. Maybe you can explain how do you release the string, Riley? Are you thinking about releasing the string when you let it go?
Yeah, kind of. I'm trying to really burn a hole through where I want to shoot. I need to be concentrating on where I want to hit.
So you're looking what you want to hit.
Yep. I'm looking at what I want to hit. I'll draw back, anchor, and I'll hold it until it feels right. And when it feels right, I try to relax.
Is it a conscious relax or is it more subconscious?
It's a conscious relax.
Oh, yeah?
Definitely.
Okay. Like, like, okay, I'm here. Okay, let it go.
It'll feel right. Well, not even let it go. Like, I'll just relax.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So I kind of overdraw by maybe like a quarter of an inch, I would say,
Mhm.
maybe even more.
And why you do that? Why?
Because it's a lot easier to release cleanly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm gonna get into because I think this is something I just learned with you like a
Yeah.
couple of days ago. I didn't know. I have my own little quirks why I shoot and why
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss, and I knew why it was, and then what you do actually I think might fix what I was
Yeah.
doing. So oh darn, I forgot what we was talking about. What were we
So
talking about?
I relax from my
You relax,
wrist
yeah.
to my fingertips.
Okay.
And that's how my shot goes.
Yeah, so me like I can shoot good this way too, but I would draw back and I would really focus on keeping my rear drawing elbow higher, because if I let that rear draw elbow sit lower, what happens is it seems to transfer the weight of the string into my forearms and my fingers instead of my
Mhm.
back. Like
Mm.
when I draw that bow low, too low, it doesn't. For some reason, I don't feel like it's loading in my back. I feel like I'm having to tense my fingers and my forearm more, and let's just use some common sense.
Lead to a pluck.
Yeah, if you gotta tense your fingers, if you're drawing the bow with your forearm and your fingers too much, how are you supposed to let it go cleanly, efficiently all the time?
Yeah. Yep.
So, I think this was the theory we got toward. Sometimes I would have difficulty letting the string go, and I couldn't figure out why. And as I kind of started raising that elbow a little bit, and then drawing it a little bit further, that quarter inch, like Riley was talking about, I felt like it loaded up my back just a little bit more, and I was able to relax my forearms and my fingers. So, I wouldn't say that I consciously think about relaxing the hand. I look at the spot, I stare at it at anchor, and the thing just goes.
It goes. Yeah, that does
Yeah.
not happen with me.
I cannot tell you like, no, it just goes
I
for
could.
me. Yeah.
I think that's why sometimes I'll anchor for 2 seconds. Sometimes I'll anchor for 10 seconds. Like, when it feels right, I'll tell it, okay, relax.
Yeah, mine it just goes. I mean, but you see me double clutch, jerk that thing,
Oh,
screw around,
yeah.
frickin'.
Yeah.
And that was when like those things happen when I don't load up my back. I
When
don't
you-
have
yeah.
my elbow high enough. I don't have
Yeah.
that draw length all the way.
Yep.
And that's one of the things too with the release technique. One of the biggest things, and I just posted it on my Instagram so you guys can check it out. We use the slow motion on our phones to really check it out.
Some good stuff.
And what's to you in your mind, what's the one thing, the thing that you see a lot of that you want to avoid, Riley, when you're looking at that?
Is collapsing before you shoot.
Totally.
That is the killer. Like, I have missed so much animals. I've
Collapsing.
missed a lot of targets.
Yeah.
Like, just by collapsing.
Yeah. So I'd say like number one, that's like the most common error, and it happens in everywhere of the body. It doesn't just happen like, what we're talking about is when you see us at slow motion, at full draw. If someone would have marked the front of your arrow with a dot, right, and someone would stand there and watch it, before you let go of that string, you might actually see that arrow start creeping forward, or even at that like split second before you fire, you see it creep, and then boom, it goes. And what's happening is the body is just, you're caving in on yourself. You're not maintaining tension. And you're gonna get inconsistency,
And
highs and lows, lefts and rights.
I think more left and rights. Like, when I go to tournaments, I'll watch guys shoot, and their elevation is spot on.
Zing, just
But
boom.
just left and right. It's like, dang, I put money down that he's collapsing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty important. If you can fight through that, or, just draw a quarter of an inch longer and make sure you use your back.
Yeah. So that was the same.
Accuracy will help.
Yeah,
Will go up.
I'm the same way. That the collapsing is terrible. And then, hey, this is not a trad only podcast, so I'm gonna go over everything we know too. That collapsing, it's consistent even in compound archery. So, me changing over to a handheld, I specifically changed over to a handheld release in compound because of, well, I did it once before by myself, and I did like the most newbie thing. It was a sweaty day. I let go that whole freaking release, and I fired it through the bow, broke everything. But let me just tell you, Carter, awesome guys. They fixed it up. Actually, they just sent me another one. But, don't lie about it. I just told them, hey, inexperienced. I shot it through the bow, and it was a discontinued model. So I guess maybe they fixed up one of the new ones, and then they sent me that one. So, but anyway, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. But I started watching, Knock On TV, Dudley's videos and stuff, and I started picking up how to do that. And Number one, I know this. If we do a compound thing, I know this is gonna be the question. Like, how do you switch? Why shoot a handheld, or how do you switch? And I would say, if you're already punching, and we can get deep, but if you're already punching an index finger, don't switch to a thumb release, because all you're gonna do is
transfer over.
punch the thumb release, and you're actually
Well, it's gonna work for a little while,
yeah,
right? It's gonna work for
if you
first couple shots.
if you punch you punch it with your little index finger. Imagine punching with your whole hand with the thumb. It's gonna get crazy. You might let go of the whole release like me. Well, my hands are sweaty too, but whatever. So what I would say is he sells a tension type release. It's Carter sells what's it called? I can't remember now.
Is that the black one?
The Evolution.
Oh
no, it's called the Evolution. It's a tension type, so it doesn't fire like a hinge or a thumb button. It fires when you increase tension on the bow. It's at a preset weight. It hits that weight, boom, it'll fire. So say you're holding weight and your valley is 14 pounds, you can set it to fire at 16. So you have to put in the valley, add 2 more pounds, boom, fires. And all that does is it makes sure, well, one, you don't have a trigger, so you can't set it off.
Yeah,
you have to pull
through.
And it's making you maintain that form of pulling while you're letting that pin float or your sights float on the dot. And I would say, like, having done that has taught me how to use the little intricate parts of my back muscles to pull evenly, and has made my stick bow shooting better as well. Yeah, I totally. Well, I don't know if it makes my stick bow shooting better. What I can say is it lets me know. Like, I know in my mind.
The feeling.
I know the feeling, and I know when I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
And like, if you. So what I'm saying is, Dudley sells a silver back. It's a silver release. It's a tension one. I think it's hard to find in stock, but if you're gonna go to the handheld, I would say follow his videos, use that silverback, and you're gonna find, I almost guarantee you're gonna find, like, sometimes it fires easy, and sometimes you can't get that darn thing to fire. And when you can't get it to fire, what's happening is your body is probably collapsing. You feel like you're pulling, but you're not.
Yeah.
And that collapse is what we're talking about when we're looking at the slow motion. You'll see that body just kind of cave in. Bow hand might come in. It might be your bow arm, your drawing arm kind of coming down. It might be your shoulder, your front shoulder of your bow arm coming back. It might be even just
combination of both,
or even like your body posture. Like, I've seen guys
more hunched over.
Yeah, so there's some people that, like, they might hunch their back a little bit. I'm not talking about leaning straight. Leaning straight is fine.
Correct.
But it's when they curl up their back a little bit, they just get weaker, they fall apart. Or even their hips. They might actually hitch their hip forward. I know Dudley talks about this too, and I didn't know it until he started talking about it. But people will put that hip little forward and kind of like get lazy, kind of lean back into the bow. And yeah, the body just does not pull. Like, it starts caving.
Yep. It's not strong. Yep.
So that's definitely the release. And then use that if you got that slow motion on your phone, you can definitely see. And the one I posted, and I got videos of Riley too, but you can kind of see, like, on our good shots, that arrow doesn't, it just comes clean out of that finger tab.
Yep.
And shoots. Oh, speaking of finger tab, we shoot finger tabs. It's just a
3 under finger tab.
Yep. 3 under, so 3 fingers under the arrow, leather tab. We just grip the string that way.
2 knocking points also.
2
That's
knocking
kind of
points.
important when you're tuning.
A little bit of gap in there, but it's just to kind of hold it together.
Correct.
And you used to shoot a glove. Right?
I used to shoot a glove when I first started.
Yeah, I used to shoot the G Love too, and
it worked.
I don't know. It was kind of the beginner thing. I felt like it was. I don't know what it's not the beginning, because I know guys that whoop my butt with a glove.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's just I felt I thought I saw
traditional.
I saw a question with someone like, why do you the anchor point that way, and what's more comfortable? That is why I switched to a tab. Was, to me, like, with my fingers together, no material in between my fingers, and I can anchor against my face. I didn't have all the material of the glove. I felt like I could feel that kind of repeatable where it is on my face, right?
Yeah. Same. It was that, and I just wasn't as accurate.
I wasn't.
And it's probably because I couldn't find a good anchor, but I just wasn't as accurate. I was like,
with the glove too, like, just for me with the glove, the fingers stick further than my fingers. So when I put it against my face, it's like the string is far away from me.
Yeah.
Because my fingers are protruding out of the glove.
But it does save your fingers a lot more.
It does.
With the tab, your tip of your fingers kind of get worked.
And I haven't figured out how to shoot a tab in cold weather with gloves. I don't know how
I
people
never
do
had
that.
to try yet. So
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of that, yeah, there are other podcasts out there. I like the Trad Geeks
yeah,
podcast.
that's very
Kevin
good
guys, they're pretty.
podcast.
They're nice guys.
You've
I've never
tried Quest.
Tried Quest,
That's
all
another
these other
good
ones. Yeah,
podcast,
so I've
yeah.
never met these people, but
Yeah.
just from what they talk about,
Yeah,
pretty good. So
knowledgeable.
listen to those. Some of them they're in cold weather, so they must know how to shoot a tab in cold weather. I don't. We live in Hawaii, and I'm too.
Our code is 60 degrees. Mauna Kea maybe 40.
So that's pretty much the questions I had here. I don't believe there are any other ones. We're at about 1 hour and 15. We can wrap a little bit more, I guess. How about practicing? How do you what's your philosophy on practice? Because we've established that we shoot instinctively mostly, not using the point, just kind of looking at the dot. So how do you practice for that?
You're asking me all the hard questions. My practice routine is I just go out and I practice. Well, so all of my shooting is always geared around. I do everything around hunting.
Yeah.
It's never for target. Hunting is certainly more important to me, but I still shoot
Yeah.
target. And I hunt from 25 and in, so I'll just randomly walk out there, move my target, shoot it 1 hour at a time.
Yeah.
Go back, grab it, walk out. Walk a little farther, walk at an angle, shoot at different angles. Always adjusting, always moving from.
What are
different
you
distances.
looking for? Like say you hit, right? That's one thing. But what if you miss? What do you do? What are you thinking when you miss or?
Huh. Well,
you probably don't think about it. You just do it.
Yeah. I don't.
Hey, he's got JDI.
I mean, I can. A lot of the times I miss. I can tell if I did something wrong.
You can feel that.
Yeah, I can feel I did something wrong.
Okay. Yeah, so
But-
I'll share my practice style when I was practicing a lot. Now I just been shooting compound a lot, but practicing, I'm the same way. Like 1 arrow, shoot 1 arrow at a time.
Just for hunting, I mean.
Yeah, just for hunting. Because you start shooting groups, I feel like you ingrain a certain distance or a certain thing, and then you struggle when you change.
And you don't make that first arrow really count. Because I got two more. Like, I can make the next two good. Or I can make the last one good. But if you're only shooting 1 arrow and you're walking 20 yards every time.
Make it good, right?
You make it good because,
be disciplined.
Yeah.
That, and I would say, focus on the, like anything, focusing on the process. Like, did I do my technique right? I don't care actually where the arrows land. As long as I felt like I did what I was right back, release, anchor, everything.
Mhm.
I did that all right. The arrow goes where they go. It should take
Mhm.
care of itself. One of the other things kind of for the more advanced guys was, I heard it talked on another podcast too not too long ago, but I'm not sure if I was doing it before I heard. I was doing this before I heard it, that's for sure. But the tennis ball.
Oh, yeah. Ryan turned me on to that.
Yeah, so we screw on a judo point or a blunt, throw a tennis ball in the field, and you just shoot at that tennis ball and it bounces, shoot again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that one's pretty good. It's different than shooting at a flat face for me.
Correct.
Like I'm a lot better at shooting at 3-dimensional small targets than I am a flat face for some strange reason.
For me, I think I'm better shooting at a 3D target if I pick a spot. Like with a tennis ball, I'm forced to aim at the tennis ball, and I'll pretty much shoot around that tennis ball unless I pick a spot on the tennis ball. Once I remember to pick a spot on the tennis ball, then I can hit it.
And you hit it.
So same thing with like 3D or even hunting. If I can pick a spot, then
you can hit it.
Most of the time the arrow goes there. So
yeah, like I would say, and you've seen it. Like you've seen it where I can put a soda can at like 40 yards.
Yeah.
And I might put an arrow in almost every arrow in that soda can, a broadhead arrow too.
Yeah.
But if you were to put a flat face target at 40 yards for me, I might not hit it in the dot. It's, I don't know what it is. Like for me, you pick like a small 3D dimensional thing. I'm a lot better at hitting those things for some strange reason than I am.
I think it's that picking a spot thing.
I don't know.
It has to be.
Yeah, it must be.
Because I noticed that too.
Maybe I just feel like it's a smaller target, so I have to
save my arrows. I can't miss.
Hit better versus I got this big face statement and I'm not concentrating
as
hard.
Whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be, I don't know, might be one of them. Yeah, so we'll make follow up ones, and we gotta pick like really detailed things like maybe a broadhead selection, an arrow selection, or anchor point, shot sequence.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's a. That, I
that's
think
just
that would be a
okay.
good one.
Shot sequence. Just
Shot sequence.
what do
That's
you
a
do?
good
What are
one.
you thinking? You draw back. What do you think? What are you doing?
I don't think. Nah, I just I draw back. I do kind of look down the arrow to make sure my left and rights are not way off, because shooting on uneven ground, I can get crazy
Yeah.
left and rights.
So you can
And
you see
then
the shaft in your periphery, and you can kind of know when you're not right. left or
correct,
right.
but
Yeah.
one I'll look at it for like a split second, make sure left and right is there,
Yeah.
and then I'll go to concentrating on what
On
I
the
want to hit,
dot. I'm
and
the
then I
same
just
way.
burn a hole through it. I try to just like look past it, look through it, do anything I can
Yeah.
to just make sure I concentrate on that.
Uh-huh.
And then when it feels right, like when the green light goes off, I relax my wrist, and generally if I do my part, it gets
goes.
there pretty damn good, man.
Yeah. For me, like I talk in my head, so I say pull, anchor, and then there's a void. Like that's the only two things I think of.
Huh.
So when I say, I used to have this. I used to try to practice like the shot sequence, bow arm, string arm, all this stuff, and then somewhere along the way, like I started, I hunted, and I just was not. For some reason, it was killing me. Like I wasn't following all the steps. I wasn't doing any of it because I do whatever it takes to get my shot when I hunt, because it's hard enough already.
Yeah.
So I started kind of like, this might not be the right way to do things, which is just what I did.
Yeah.
I started trying to throw everything as I could into the subconscious. So it's like, it's not autopilot, but I'm getting there. Like it's almost like, okay, here's the animal, here's the shot. Okay, pull, anchor.
So you still
That's it.
tell yourself to pull.
I still tell myself pull, anchor. That's the two things. So when I say pull, I'm just gonna pull that bow back. I'm gonna hit anchor. It's so pull bow back, and when I say anchor is when I'm finding my knuckle, on my earlobe. I'm finding that. I'm finding the feather on my nose, and I'm also feeling my elbow and my back. That's like, I'm making sure, like, okay, do I have that? I don't just feel the weight of the string in my hands.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't even feel that. Like it should just be a hook,
Yep.
And then, yeah, I guess I do feel like I can feel my bow arm. I can feel the elevation of my bow arm for some strange reason. Like I can't tell you what I see about it. I can just feel like, okay, it's about there. It was that same feeling when I set the bow up and I said I kind of pre-aim it. That same feeling, I just draw back, hit there. Okay, that's that feeling, and then I'll look at the spot as intently as I can. And while I'm looking at that spot as intently as I can, I feel like that's somehow that trigger that relaxes my hand. Like as soon as I can see really good at that spot, somehow the hand just goes, and I shoot. And I'm not perfect at it, but I will say, like, my problem is collapsing. I collapse. I'll shoot to the right when I collapse, usually.
Yeah, if I go on autopilot like you, oh boy, arrows will not
Things
go
go
where I
crazy.
want it to. Yep, like for hunting anyway. Target, I probably could control myself.
That's where, that's
but
where
hunting,
I say, that's
buddy,
where I say it's probably the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Don't, focus on the steps. If you can continue to do the steps, do the steps.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happens to me. Like, I can tell you on my good shots, I know I saw the hair. I remember the hair. I was looking at all those things. On the fucked up ones,
I don't know.
I don't know what I did. Yeah. So like, I think that's pretty common with hunters, that just, you shoot all good at home, and then you go out there, crunch time. Usually, like, you can ask someone, like, beginners.
What happened?
What happened? I don't know.
I have. Where did you hit it?
I don't know.
Heard it hit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's go look for your arrow. Yeah.
So, that intense focus, I think, is breaking that freak out cycle, getting to that intense focus, whatever that is, and executing that, whatever it is.
Yep.
I don't know. I modified along the way because I was like, I can't think about anything. I can't. My mind doesn't work. I just gotta shoot this thing. So I said, okay, if I just gotta shoot this thing, I'm gonna tailor the way I shoot to shoot good enough, doing the just do it mode.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
So if I don't do the steps and I fall back on the dumb way, okay, I'll still probably make an okay shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was me.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Interesting.
I would say now, though, maybe I should focus on perfecting that. I'm gonna perfect the steps. I'm gonna do those things, and I missed a lot. I did a lot of. It's crazy, man. I mean, what are some of your failures out there?
Oh,
Epic.
I remember stalking the animal. I remember knocking the arrow, and I don't remember. I remember the animal running away, and I was thinking like,
What did I?
one, I have no idea where my arrow went. Number two, I'm pretty sure I didn't even draw all the way back. It was probably halfway. Like I had absolutely no idea what happened, and then like that was like the turning point, I guess you could say. Like after that, I was like, I gotta change something because this is not working. Like I can't keep doing that. Like, and I'm sure I've done it on multiple animals, but within the last couple years, so far I've been pretty good. Like it, arrow released, arrow goes where I want it. So it's been
cool. Yeah, me it's just I don't even know where to start. I mean, when I was a few years ago, when there were good animals and stuff, yeah, I guess I was kind of that trophy hunter. I would look for the select animal. I would pass up good ones so I could get the great one or whatever it is. And I've had some epic failures with the stick bow doing that. I mean, epic. I missed the big 6x6 bull elk in Wyoming with a stick bow. First time I went elk hunting, 20 yards, I hit a tree. I mean, it just.
It's on YouTube. You should go watch it.
Yeah, well, I don't have that shot on YouTube. I just have the hunt.
Yeah. But
some people give me.
Nah, that video is solid.
I got some critics like, there's no people just want to see dead animals, you know, and it's like this is garbage. Video. Why do I watch it? And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess in hunting, some people hunt for dead animals, and some people hunt for experiences and different things. So, yeah, I had some. Just epic failure. So yeah, if you're a beginner getting into it, just be ready for it.
It happens, but it gets easier if you get mad enough.
Yeah.
And ask for help.
I could be cynical about it. Yeah. No, that's Riley for help.
Ask Ryan for help. He'll help you. He'll get you.
I'm gonna tell you, just do it. But yeah, the failure gets easy as you do it so many times. It stings in the first few, but after you get used to it.
But dang, when you succeed and everything goes right.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
The funny one is, I don't know, for me, the funny one is, since I failed so much at it, like it hurts for about a split second and I'm kind of over it. But when you're like around other people, you have to kind of like fake it that it did matter, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't
it doesn't. Ah, dang, it bugs me.
Yeah, 'cause it's like I'm going to use an analogy. So in Hawaii, our parents give us dirty lickings. Like you're going to get beatings. Like this is like you can't do this.
Borderline child abuse.
Yeah, borderline child abuse, right?
The belt, the stick.
That's how we learn, right?
Yeah.
But when you get hit with the belt enough, I'm not gonna lie, I got used to it. Like it didn't hurt anymore.
Dang, not mine.
So you had to fake like it hurt.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's gonna come back again. It didn't have an effect.
Yeah.
It didn't have the desired effect.
Yeah.
So we must add more force to the desired effect, and you're gonna get hit harder.
Yeah.
So it's like, get hit with the belt. Dang, just fake cry. And get
it over with.
Get it over with, yeah. So like with the stick bow, it's like I got used to screwing up all the time. It was like, whatever. But then, I hunted with some other guys, and it maybe they didn't go over so well. Like they were little bent.
Butt hurt.
Yeah, a little bent that I screwed up.
Yeah.
But I will admit, when I was younger, yeah, it was I would get bent out of shape. But as I got older, it just gets easier.
Huh. I'm still bent out of shape. But if I mess up badly, my second shot usually money. So I get mad. I'm usually in a pretty bad mood if I miss.
Yeah, you make up for it.
Yeah. Oh, try to make up for it. Usually I do, but.
Well, I think I think we got through the questions here. Maybe we'll we're gonna have to do another episode on this, and can ask some more. Fire away. You guys. Listeners, you got my social media out there. Just fire away, and if you got the chance, leave a rating, leave a review. I can take the criticism.
Easy.
Yeah, I can take the criticism. You can't go on social media and do whatever unless you got some thick skin.
Yeah.
And if you got thin skin, well, you're a sissy. You shouldn't be there anyway.
Correct.
But that's that. Anything else you wanna?
No, that's.
You wanna add, Riley?
There's plenty things else we can talk about, but.
Yeah.
We'll see what the tournament holds this Saturday. Hopefully more people can come out and support the program and have some fun.
Yeah.
Some good food probably.
So are you competitive on that or what? You gonna put down some money on me or?
Well, I don't like to bet against Ryan or with Ryan because we have this weird thing going on that
I'm not.
if
that
Ryan
good.
shoots good, I'll shoot good. Ryan misses, I'll generally miss. Vice versa. It's weird.
That's the mind thing.
And
though.
last year, what, 1 point you beat me by?
Yeah, 1 point. You know what it is? I think it's because you watch that other guy's arrow go there. It's in your mind now. You're like, don't do
Or
that.
there's
and
a
then you do
feather
it.
by like the head, and you're like, I'm not gonna even look there, but your arrow just
You
goes
look
there.
there.
Like it's, dang. I don't know. It's frustrating, but it's fun, especially
Yeah.
shoot with a group. Like
So when you're shooting instinctive, if your instincts
look
look somewhere else,
lead that
it's
way. Like
probably gonna go over
dang,
there.
yeah. It doesn't matter how hard you burn a hole in that target. That thing is gonna go
Yeah.
by
So
his friend.
so if you learn how to will that instinct to the middle, you should be good.
So good tip. You follow Ryan because he'll
No.
probably shoot an X.
No,
then you have something to aim at.
dude.
You're good to go. You want Ryan to miss, you
You
go
know-
first, you miss.
You know
Ryan's gonna follow.
what? You know what the secret was though on the last shoot. The last shoot, I think there were 12 rings.
Oh yeah, this one is 10-5-0
I think that's what I saw online. So
because I can't shoot very accurate at close ranges. I mean, I'll kill.
we can talk about that too. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can, I would say you are a far better distance shooter than I am with the
Yeah.
stick. Far better.
Yeah.
But I will say this: how I eked out that 1 point last time and all that. I
Yeah.
just focused on the 12s that
Yeah.
were really close.
I'll go around the 12s. I won't hit the 12.
Yeah.
I'll kill.
Yeah.
But dang, foam. Yeah.
So
I
I think I'm screwed on this one. I have no way to
Mm.
make up for my mistakes. Like I screw up,
Mm.
whoa, you're done. You know.
We'll see how far it is. My bow is pretty damn slow. So I think we're kind of even going into this one.
But hey, like anything, if you're a beginner out there and you know you might feel intimidated to try a 3D shoot just because there's all these experienced people there. Don't just go, man. Have fun.
come to the shoot and you
dude,
can shoot with us.
yeah,
We'll have fun.
We
man.
talk all kinds of shit. We don't care.
Yeah.
If you want to shoot serious,
Yeah.
like you want to get serious,
Go
don't
with somebody
shoot-
else,
Yeah,
yeah.
go with somebody.
But we're gonna have fun. Like
Yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah. If you're new, just come and you can come in our group. That's
Yeah.
perfectly fine with me.
And all the other groups too. I think for the most part, 90% of people, man, it's like they're out there.
They're having fun.
having
Yeah,
fun.
That's what
And
it's all about.
There's like a small select people that are super competitive, but even them, like, they're having fun. And I have not seen like super sour grapes. I mean, it's super rare.
Nah. Yeah.
So yeah, come out. I mean, and even people that say, "Oh, I just hunt," you know, I don't shoot 3D or target or anything. Go.
Oh,
Like,
it helps so
I
much.
think you will find that you will become a better shooter in
Yep.
general. Oh, that was a question Jeff had. How do you become a hammer, Riley?
Oh, Malavang, how you become a hammer?
Don't be a nail.
Don't be a nail. Try not to be a ball peen hammer.
What's the joke? So the joke is like people on the mainland, they might not know that. I guess it's a saying.
And
here.
this ain't nothing to do with Cameron Haynes.
No, it's nothing to do with that. His keep hammering or anything like that. This is just here. I guess it's kind of a compliment to some people, like use a hammer or whatever it is. But I don't. Yeah, it's kind of skewed toward the trophy hunters, I guess.
Correct.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I make fun of it honestly.
We
Cause
we use it in a whole different context.
yeah, cause hey, I'm gonna be honest. Like it's hunting. Animals don't shoot back at me, so I really don't feel like I have this massive conquest or
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
It's just it's a thing I do. I respect the animal, but I don't really feel like I
Can't win.
haven't conquered the animal.
Correct,
I haven't
yeah.
conquered the whatever. I've just maybe conquered yourself if it's like
Yeah.
challenging and you want to quit, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
no, so yeah, the hammer thing's kind of funny, but but yeah, just new guys, just go out there, have fun, and yeah, if you see us around, don't be a stranger. We'll ask. I'm not a super extroverted guy. Riley is though. So.
Whoa. Nope. I like to be unknown. If you don't know anything about me, that's great. I did my job.
But yeah, we're gonna we'll be there and shoot it up. And
What time does it start usually?
I think it starts
7:30
Well,
registration.
7:30 registration. 9:00 is the shoot usually.
And generally it ends at a little after lunch, maybe.
Yeah, a little after lunch. Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Yeah, it's $25 entrance fee,
I
I
think
believe.
it's 30.
30, but it comes with
Nice.
lunch.
Oh.
And if you don't shoot, I think you can pay like an extra $5 for like a super cherry potluck lunch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be there. Have fun.
it'll be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
Maybe I should do a sandbagging guide. We can keep track of all the quotes I make out there.
I'll write it down.
I haven't been practicing. My string broke. What else is there?
I'm not used to shooting this far.
I'm not used to shooting this far.
How am I gonna beat that arrow? There's plenty.
Oh.
There's plenty.
Hey,
We'll write it
Riley,
down.
don't miss.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
You have to say, yeah, that's the one. But yeah, just don't be intimidated, folks. Go out there, have fun, and we'll be back. Maybe we'll do one after the shoot. How that went. Maybe your errors or your mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
Or
Hopefully,
whatever.
I'm not frustrated.
Because you're gonna try, right? I mean, try to shoot a good score. Right?
Every target, I'm thinking it's a real animal. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
I'm
because
shooting it as like if I'm hunting and that is
Yeah.
something I wanna eat.
absolutely, yeah. You
So-
get lax. You know, you only you
If
don't
you-
rise to an occasion. You, know,
If
you
you
fall
think
back
it's
on your
foam,
training.
yep. If you think it's foam when you got into the field, it's a whole nother story.
Yeah, you might do that again. You might, if you don't
Airball.
practice for excellence all the time,
Yep.
you're practicing for failure.
Yep.
honestly,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Reinforcing it.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, that's the podcast. If you got more questions, you know where to ask them. And catch you guys in the next one. Aloha.
Shoots.